Today I'm here to give you my take of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. So first off, my overall view of this movie is just kind of middle of the road. It quite literally is just A New Hope rehashed. That was the whole goal of this film. It was meant to be a safe option for Star Wars. Even though I really extremely dislike the trilogy as a whole, this is not the worst movie that Disney has made, and it's actually not a bad movie. It's a very well made movie. It just doesn't feel like a good Star Wars movie. So let's start off with the things I actually liked. One of my favorite parts of this movie was seeing Han and Chewie return to the Falcon. That scene when the doors open on the Falcon and then Han and Chewie just rushed in, and then you heard Han say Chewie, we're home. It's the first time we saw Harrison Ford and Chewbacca on the Falcon in years. Of course I'm gonna love that. The visual effects were pretty good. Obviously they use more practical effects and people really like that, and I understand. Like, of course I liked it. I love animatronics and stuff like that. They used a lot of that in here, as well as the CGI that was in this movie. There was still a lot of CGI in this film, and it was really good. Now I want to talk about my mixed feelings about this movie. The first thing is the cinematography. My mixed feeling about it is it's not George Lucas's style. There was a lot of types of shots they did that just felt weird for a Star Wars movie. The thing I loved about George's style is he was a master of open shots. So everything felt big because it was big. He had big open shots and he built the world into the frame. That's why Star Wars always felt massive. He could fill the frames with things for you to enjoy. And this movie didn't do that. It was like mostly just up close, put the stuff in the background, what you can see. They're technically good shots. It just doesn't work for a Star Wars movie. The next mixed feeling I have on this movie is actually kind of surprising. John Williams' score. To be clear, I am not hating on John Williams. I absolutely love John Williams. You know, when you listen to like all the other movies, there was always a new theme that was just gorgeous, and the whole movie was riddled with it. And every scene had a new theme. This one felt like John Williams just making notes to get you from point to point. I didn't feel like there was any memorable themes in this. Despite it being by John Williams, it felt like John Williams was limited in his freedom in this movie as opposed to the prequels and the original. Now I want to talk about things I disliked. This one might be a bit of a hot take, but I really disliked the lighting of the lightsabers. Whenever you see a lightsaber fight, they always add the lighting because now they use glow sticks basically to film the lightsaber fights. I get why people like that. I get the appeal, but here's why I don't like it. Because it blinds me. When I watch a lightsaber fight, I want to see the moves and maneuvers. I can't see it because the light's all over the place. And my next thing I disliked, the lack of Rey's identity. They obviously wanted to do this slow revelation story for Rey's character. Okay, cool. They did that in the original trilogy. The only difference is the original trilogy did it different and better. In episode 4, they didn't tell you that his father was Vader, but they at least told you that he had a father who was a Jedi and he knew Obi-Wan. You felt a stronger connection to Luke, and you felt that, oh, he's a Jedi. With Rey, she's just a person that a lightsaber called to her, and then she's in this room and Kylo Ren does this thing, and I guess it's awaken the Force within her. But does that mean now that she just knows how to do a Jedi mind trick? We needed more identity for Rey. There should have been a reveal of at least who is her parents? Who is she the descendant of? What type of Jedi is she? Because obviously they were trying to introduce her as this super Jedi. Have some kind of revelation. And that's where if Luke would have came into the movie earlier, he could have been part of that. There's nothing to attach to. We don't need to know her full story, but they should have gave us something. The next thing I disliked was the map to Luke Skywalker as the MacGuffin. The map itself is very strange. If Luke wanted to get away from everything, why did he leave a map leading straight to him? It just doesn't make sense, and I just don't like it. Perhaps the biggest pet peeve I had with this movie is, as a prequel fan, I did not like the deliberate exclusion of any references to the prequel trilogy, because the whole goal was to correct the prequel trilogy. What's confusing about this is if that was your goal, then why did you call this movie Episode 7? Why did you not just erase the prequel trilogy from canon and then make this Episode 4? Like, why make it Episode 7 if you are embarrassed that the prequels exist? I love the originals, but I also love the prequels, and these movies just act like the prequels didn't exist despite calling themselves Episodes 7, 8, and 9. And it just upset me. That's my short 5-minute review of The Force Awakens. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I will see you next time, and be ready to be judged.